Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. all to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today.
We are back at Richardson Stadium for Game 3 of 3 here on the Ontario RedBlack weekend, also the All-Star weekend as a whole. I'm Caitlin Poversnick alongside Jesse Bell and the rest of the crew here up in the media booth. Very exciting game set ahead of us. This is the U18. They are going to try and be flashy, be big, and get noticed here. We don't have a black crew here. We have a white crew filling in, and then the Reds as well. So Jesse, anything that you're looking forward to for this game that we've been waiting all weekend for?
These young men are on the precipice of their next big football milestone. The pressure is going to be higher than any of the games we've seen previously.
Absolutely.
I am expecting a higher level of polish and poise.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is the highest pressure game of the weekend by far. If you're going, yes, this game doesn't necessarily mean anything for points, but this is a game that means a lot for attention purposes.
And we have got a nice little throwing off the defense here, fake one-way handoff to Senna Packett-Hannett, who is a fantastic local football project. Sorry, that is Senna Packett-Hannett, E and then the H-A. And I remember calling his name during the Bubba Bowl, the Sydenham football night game, as he was playing for the LaSalle Golden Knights, and they did quite well that night. And considering his gain of 7 yards there on first down, not much of a surprise. A lot of Kingston Grenadiers in this U18 game here today, so I'm very excited to see the local football products and what they can give us here as we get a handoff on second down. And what a run! Look at the acceleration there from number 5 in the white. That is Luca DiStefano. The acceleration through the hole, that's something that's going to impress the coaching staff because he got the ball. He didn't have a lot of momentum with him, Caitlin, but by the time he got to the line of scrimmage, shot forward for a first down.
Absolutely, and we were gawking at the size of some of these boys here tonight. Well, I guess this afternoon, I should say rather, but it's the progression that we've seen from the U14 to the U16, now the U18s. These guys have more muscle, have more understanding of how their bodies work when it comes to that athletic ability, and even just the lines that we're seeing at the front right now. There are a lot of sized players here this afternoon.
Yeah, these are huge, basically full-grown men out there as we get another completion here, this time to number 3, Joshua Muzzy. Yeah, what I found with the U18 pretty consistently year on year is you are getting easily the biggest bodies that you are going to find pretty much anywhere in the province here. Size isn't the only thing that matters, especially with offensive and defensive linemen, but when you are that size, you are going to attract a lot of attention from scouts and from the Team Ontario internal scouting team. So it doesn't surprise me to see some of these big-framed young men on the field here.
Yeah, especially if they're coachable. Yes, the size. You can't teach size. That's always the quote-unquote thing to say. But if you can actually play ball too.
Oh, great job there by the quarterback.
Wow.
That was a fantastic throw, avoiding the rush, and a little jump throw there from, I believe that is Charles DeCare in at quarterback currently, and they picked up another first down. Team White, who is our Team Black substitute, kind of playing like the Team Black squads before them, taking the initiative here against Team Red, who is still yet to win a game here on Red Black weekend.
Yes, they're 0 for 2 right now, hoping that the Reds can get a couple of points on the board. Don't know if it's the curse of the jersey or just the groupings of the teams, but I guess we'll see here.
We have a very loud fan. It's like an air horn out there. Charles DeCare rolling out left. That's a beautiful pass, Caitlin. My goodness. Complete to number 4, Eric Shillington. Holy cow, was that a pretty pass.
That was a beautiful pass. And again, something that we've been talking about, don't stop running. Don't stop running. Had he slowed up at any given point throughout his route to get to the ball, that pass wouldn't have hit as well. But he did not slow up, and he just kept running through into it, grabbed it, and then turned his corner.
Ooh, okay, we've got Senna Peckett-Hannett making his way off the field, and Brock Oliver coming in as another Kingston Grenadier. That's number 49. He's playing H-back there. Look at the frame on Brock Oliver coming in as a blocking player almost certainly. Watch for a run to that side. Yes, indeed they are. They're going to use Oliver to set the edge as we get a good carry from number 5, Luca DiStefano. We talked about the H-back, the fullback in that last game, Caitlin, and you're seeing the example of how useful that can be to your offense here.
Yeah.
They brought Oliver in, and no surprise where they ran on that one.
It's nice to see just the progression downfield, too. I guess, I mean, everybody hopefully at home is only hearing us talk for the first time, so it's not super repetitive for them. But it's stuff that we've been talking throughout this entire game that we're repeating over the past 2 games. Just seeing the caliber of play coming from the progression in now seeing more adults going into university-type players.
Yeah, these guys are just about the finished high school product. They are actively being scouted by dozens of U Sports scouts. Obviously a lot of Ontario, but we've got people from Bishops. We've got people from some other of the Quebec schools. This is a summit of sorts for some of the very best players in the country at their age range here at the RedBlack / right now Red-White game.
Yeah, and the pressure doesn't, dawn on me that a lot of these players are realizing that this is their opportunity to shine. So it's about getting out of your head, too, that knowing even if you make one mistake, it's how you come back from that and being like, you know what, no, I want the ball again. Let me fix my mistake.
Oh, and another mistake for Team White here. Back-to-back procedure plays with wide receivers a little too far ahead of the snap of the ball, and that's going to set them back 5 yards again, creating a 2nd and 15 scenario, which is a shame because this Team White offense was really on a roll up until that point.
Yes.
And,
momentum stopped.
As I look at the booths around me, to our left, we have Queens football, and to the right, we have scouts from, there's a large contingency from Laurier here. I count no fewer than 4 Laurier Golden Hawk scouts just in the booth.
A coach on the ground level right now on the sidelines.
As we will get a pass play here, 2nd and 15, screen pass, and that's a good decision. There is a lot of pace and space available. Fighting hard, DiStefano with forward progress either has the first or he's just a bit shy, but that is a great, well-designed screen pass there. And yes, indeed, with forward progress, he will get probably by inches, but that's all that you need. He will get that first down and set them up with a great opportunity here early.
Yeah, even though they ended up moving backwards, I feel like that forward momentum actually was a good comeback from a mistake. Like I said, just because you make one doesn't mean that you can't make up for it in your next round So now if they can get closer to the end zone, I think that's where the impressive part's going to come in.
And that's a great point, Caitlin, and I think that's a really great opportunity for these young men to show that level of mental polish. But another false start here for Team White. Their 3rd penalty in 4 plays has set them back again as Oliver is making his way out of the ball game. Number 13, Daniel Priestner, which is another player I'm quite familiar with. It's a name that is very familiar to me. I, for the folks at home, run a social media page that does a lot of U Sports and OUA content. So some of these young men are in the age range where I see their names pop up on the follower list. So it's a very strange experience for me. And we have got a 1st and 15 coming up. Back to pass, stepping up. DeCare, beautiful
Nice
pass.
play.
Complete to number 18 on Team
Still
White.
going, holy.
What a second effort from Owen Saunders, fighting down to the 1-yard line. Holy cow.
Nice read from our quarterback here on Team White, too, to be able to recognize, take his time, run east-west, don't go over your line, and make sure that you hit an open player. Even if that play didn't go as planned, I feel like that's a really great way to see what a scramble might look like from your quarterback, too. And the fact that he was able to get that close, he almost dragged himself in through the touchdown.
DiStefano stopped short Yeah, the play of Charles DeCare here early, Caitlin, the quarterback for Team White, is really quite impressive. I have no doubt that schools like Laurier and Queens, who have had such strong quarterback play especially, are keeping a close eye on Charles DeCare.
Yeah, I think Laurier kind of has a specialty for having good quarterbacks. So this is definitely knowing that they're here and they're watching. I feel like puts even more pressure on maybe that quarterback position here today.
Absolutely. Laurier sent one player to the CFL, another to the NCAA. That's their last two starting quarterbacks, and they're going to need a new one. And that is DeStefano crossing the line. A flag is down, and it is a hold. So Team White will have to hold on that celebration, as a hold brings them back 10 yards. Yeah, and that's something we touched on briefly with Coach Snyder in the U16 game, is the wide open nature of the OUA. There are a lot of top-tier programs that are legitimate contenders for the Yates Cup. And I know he says, we're not defending, we're chasing. But when you've got that Yates Cup in your trophy case, you can phrase it how you want to phrase it. There is a target on your back at the end of the day.
Without a doubt. Because everybody, regardless of whether you just won a national championship, whatever the scale of the award and the trophy is, you go into your next season having people want to say that they dethroned you, even if it's just one game, like you're saying. So even if the team isn't as good next year, not saying that for Queens, but just as a general statement, even if you lost a lot of players and you're not doing as well, still not quite.
Good effort there from Joshua Muzzy. Yeah, no, you're correct. It's once you've won one, no matter how good you are the next season or not, people are still going to want to knock you off your perch.
You want to beat the program, not the players, because the players don't always come back, but you want to beat the program.
Very well put. I could not agree with that more. As we are going to see a 3rd and goal from about the 4-yard line. If you're curious, folks, the Queen's season starts August 30th in the Varsity Stadium at the University of Toronto, 7 p.m. And we're going to see here, handoff to DeStefano. DeStefano loses the ball, loses it again, and that is going to be a team red ball regardless. But that one is recovered by, it looks like number 38. No, not 38. Sorry, folks. That is a different number there. Number 39, rather. That's Luca Rossett, the linebacker, who jumped on that one. And it's going to be team red ball deep in their own territory.
And I think if you're a scout here or somebody watching, that's kind of where you wanted to see Team White being able to pull through. And, you know, instead they ended up getting more flags and not being able to execute, I think, the way that they would have wanted to. Obviously, that's their first kind of run at a red zone opportunity, but this is such high-level play of football that you want to see the execution come through.
And with, it looks like possibly a flag on the play, moving Team Red up. And this is exciting, Caitlin, because the starting running back for Team Red is Kingston Grenadiers' own Declan Cowan, and this is a dynamic player. I have watched him play in the Grenadiers season a number of times. Extremely talented. Stays into pass block there as the quarterback rolls right, and he's going to keep this ball and pick up a first down. And then some, as we get, unfortunately, too late of a block there from 13 in red. That's Nick Riva, who I like the idea behind it, but it was kind of an unnecessary block.
It was definitely unnecessary. You could tell that he was also running out of bounds at the time, didn't need the extra help.
And that's why they call it unnecessary roughness, folks.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Which is a shame, because I love the instincts, just maybe not the execution.
Absolutely.
And that was a good run from a big-bodied quarterback. Look at the frame on number 26, Andrew Colson. This kid, this is what you want out of your quarterback prospects. Tall, well-built, and clearly quite an agile player as well.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously NFL a lot larger in scale, but you're getting 6'7" foot quarterbacks, and you know, you're playing over some very large players. You want to be able to see the field as best as possible, and unfortunately height is the only way to see over top of players.
It's true, you can't teach height, and I'm sure the Zoomer contingent was delighted to hear you say 6'7", Caitlin. I have no doubt.
Well,
that's okay.
You make it worse by bringing it up.
I know, I love it. Declan Cowan up the middle, and actually a great play-action fake. That had me completely fooled, as they fake the handoff and throw that pass to number 86, Graham Williams, who could not quite keep his feet beneath him. But a good gain there on first down, setting up a 2nd and 7. And yeah, I'm just still in awe of the physical development of these U18 players. These guys are as close to the genuine article as can be expected at this point. And let's see what they do here on 2nd and 7. We saw the quarterback keep it on a play that ended up being taken away thanks to unnecessary roughness. It's going to be, there's that jet sweep, and this one's going to be successful. A first down along the right-hand side for number 86. We saw him with that grab earlier, and he followed it up here. That's Graham Williams with a first down.
And it's nice to see that play executed kind of the way it's supposed to be written up, because we've been watching that play a lot throughout the past 3 games, last night to this morning, and that sweep hasn't swept. You know, it's constantly shut down. You don't really get a whole lot of yards out of it, and sometimes you're losing some as well. So it's nice to see that whole process actually come to fruition and done nicely.
Yeah, big first down there. And we're seeing a lot of overzealousness from both offenses as we get another offside or procedure call. So we saw a couple for Team White. We've now seen 2 penalties totaling 20 yards from Team Red, and we're still in the first quarter and realistically in the first few drives for these teams.
Yes, and again, that just comes with the fact that they haven't played together a whole lot yet. This is, again, their first time as a bunch actually playing a game, so you're going to see a lot more mistakes that you wouldn't necessarily see as a team that you've practiced with for a long time, but also just comes with the composure and maybe maturity of some players still.
Very well put. And you think about the stage that they're on. It's understandable that they're a little jumpy today as we get a completion to number 13, Nick Riva. The last name not quite spelt the same way, but it makes me think of the great Western running back Nathan Riva, who was an outstanding player that made my life miserable on this very field, playing for the dominant Western Mustangs, and I have no doubt that the Mustangs will pick up a number of great players from this U18 game somewhere down the line. One of the best recruiting schools, new head coach Michael Falds. What I want to stress to people is the OUA in particular has never been more exciting, so if you're looking for a time to get into OUA football, this is a great year to do it. 2nd and 5 coming up. Another hard count, trying to get the Team White defense jumping. Stretch play to Declan Cowan. Great run there from Cowan. Looked like it was going to be a tackle for loss, but he managed to make a quick cut to the left-hand side and get it within striking range for a 3rd and short. What do you think, punt, or are they going for it?
I'd say go for it.
It looks like you are correct. I think they're going to try and sneak this one forward.
Might as well. You're so close. You only got 35 seconds left to play.
Yeah, in the first quarter, and yeah, you've got that tall quarterback, well over 6 feet tall. You've got a big offensive line.
Stretch it out.
Yep, I thought they were just going to go under center and ram this one forward, but it looks like they are going to run more of a traditional offensive play unless, no, they are. They're going to try and get him to jump first. So here we go. What are they going to scheme up on 3rd down? They fake the jet sweep. They hand it off to Cowan, and Cowan will indeed get that extra Richardson inch to pick up a first down for Team Red. Very evenly contested game so far.
I'd say so too, as that first quarter just finishes. But yes, absolutely. I think that was the right play to call there too. I feel like their run game has been working really, really well. Why try and throw something, maybe not execute it when you have people that you can rely on to get it through the center?
And we're going to get one more play in the first quarter here, and then we will yeah, I think that they marked him down just prior to the end of the clock. So we're going to get to see one more before we give you a quick word on one of the fantastic sponsors that makes an event like this possible. Quick pass play, complete. And that is another reception for number 86, Graham Williams, who has touched the ball 3 times on this drive. And that brings us to the end of quarter number 1. Caitlin, why don't you give us some info on one of those outstanding sponsors?
Well, let's see. Which one haven't we read in a while?
Yeah, we've got a rotating list
We've
here.
got a rotating list. And you know what? It's been a while since we've talked about BioSteel.
Yes, it has.
And you know what? Feeling parched.
Me too.
Lots of talking today. But BioSteel is one of Canada's most trusted names in sports hydration, and they're proud to support Football Ontario and the athletes representing this province at RedBlack weekend. From ID Camp's provincial championships, BioSteel is on the sidelines all season long. Pick up some at biosteel.ca. And you know what? As tacky as reading sponsors can be, I feel like we've got some cool ones.
We actually do. This is a good lineup. And I won't lie to you, BioSteel is kind of my go-to road trip drink. There's not a word
biased.
of a lie. I am, absolutely. I have no problem admitting that. For the work that I do with broadcasting, I always have a really nice sponsorship lineup of products that I use. So, and you folks can tell when we do the ad reads who's got the cartoonishly over-the-top announcer voice for it. Great play-action pass, and another catch by number 86.
Wow, he's having a good game.
Graham Williams has been all over the stat sheet. I like his build. I think he's got a really nice frame for a wide receiver. Obviously can still add more muscle mass onto it, but his concentration and his ability to get open, that is a fantastic first half for Graham Williams.
Yeah, you got a lot of tools to use in your arsenal, I feel like, with a lot of these teams. And it's nice seeing the execution. You know, that's something that we haven't seen in the past two games, is the execution of some of these throw and pass plays.
And looking at the helmet, Junior Guelph Griffin. Guelph is another program that is so good at developing talent. We actually saw the second U Sports player off the board is Isaiah Smith from the University of Guelph, and they've had players make it to the NFL like Tavis Robinson. Wow! Graham Williams, have yourself a day, young man. What is that, Caitlin? The fifth time he's touched the ball on this drive?
I want to say so.
A jet sweep and then 4 catches.
How do you stop a player like that if you're the defense right now? Because you know exactly where they're going. Why wouldn't you go there?
Sometimes you can drop the perfect defensive scheme, but when you've got talent and drive, there ain't much you can do, as Team Red is now in the 1st and goal territory. They've got about 10 yards to go if they want to put 6 points on the board. And you know they're got to be looking for number 86 again. This time, though, corner out. Beautiful grab, Caitlin. That is number 13, Nick Riva. And you know what? He's the guy who had that penalty on the first offensive play of the game for Team Red. I think he just made up for it there with that beautiful catch.
But again, that is what you are looking for, not letting your mistakes get in the way of your future prospects. So that's exactly what you want to see. Diving catch, nonetheless. Holy.
And now, for the first time all weekend, it feels like, Team Red has taken a lead. Yes.
That's what you like to see. Go Red. Not that we're biased in any way, but nice to see Red doing well.
And this is Thin Nguyen, who is on to kick this one through. The holder from Team White. Looks like they've got like one kicker, one punter apiece. Yes, indeed. Bennett Rowe is the Team White punter/kicker. I think that's neat. You see the kickers from opposite teams just hanging out and holding kicks for each other.
Working well together.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I also like it because that's usually what you see at the U Sports level, is you've got your punter or your kicker as part of that special teams unit, either holding or assisting in some way. And, yeah, once again, love the sportsmanship. Love the camaraderie.
It's a cool setup.
I love this weekend for all the talent on display.
Yeah.
But I love it because there's clearly a genuine appreciation for the game of football that's on display all weekend long. And that's the stuff that really makes my bitter, cold heart, grow 3 or 4 sizes, as Charles DeCare back in action here. Screen pass. And a well-executed one. That's 26.
Nice cuts.
Number 26, Daniel Nicasto. What a play. Absolutely. And that's a great point. That cut, he was heading left, cut it back right, and I think he picked up probably an extra 10 yards than if he had simply run it out of bounds.
Absolutely, and I think that most people would have thought that he would have just run it out of bounds. That's where everybody was pushing him. Even the defense was kind of ushering him over to that sideline, but a nice gap read on that to cut through the middle and get those extra yards, because genuinely that was a few extra yards that he gained just by cutting.
Yeah, it usually, east-west is always dangerous, but that was a good west cut on an eastbound play there.
Absolutely.
As they are going to hand it off again and find much less success, swallowed up by a couple of those big bodies in the middle of that Team Red defense. I think the primary one. Look at that guy. Goodness gracious. Number 52 in red is Ethan Byrne. Or sorry, 53, my mistake, which is Cairo Bryden Tucker. Big purple helmet. And that's going to set up a second and about 8. Another Kingston Grenadier out there in Adrian Stangata playing at the rush end position here. Yep, that's offside.
Dang. Fooled themselves.
Yep, you could see 13 in white. Daniel Priestner was just about a step and a half too far. And that's kind of the trade-off when you run, an offense with those slots in motion. If you don't time it perfectly, those guys are so fast, they are going to cost you penalty yards.
Yep. And unfortunately, it's happened a few times.
Yeah, that's something I would like to see tightened up a bit, is just some of the discipline plays in the second half. That's something that I think would really reflect well on these young men. A lot of hard counts, too, going on 2. DeCare's pass, that was a great adjustment from the wide receiver. I will say, I like the instincts on display by Marley Basquin there. They tracked the ball well. They just couldn't quite get underneath it for a catch.
Yeah, and you talk about discipline, too. I still think that there's a lot of stuff to learn when it comes to discipline for these players. Although they are at the older age group, they're still not in that university zone quite yet. So it's the discipline that comes from university play, and you kind of realize what discipline actually means. Because I feel like everybody says discipline, and it takes discipline, but what does that look like? And how do you grow into maybe that discipline? And it's not as simple as just saying discipline, too. You got to figure out what that looks like.
To me, it was always the stuff you did when nobody was watching. That was the definition of discipline to me, and we have got a bit of a chaotic scene here. Fumbled and recovered for a touchdown.
Wow.
That's 18 in white. Owen Saunders, who we saw with that great effort getting to the goal line on the last drive.
Wow.
He recovers a fumble tipped off the hands of the returner, and that is 6 points for Team White.
Ran, too. He rushed. Like, that was don't give up on the play. You see somebody struggling, and you ran for it.
That's a great point, Kaylin. That is a definition of a hustle play.
Absolutely.
And I think, it's so nice to have a game that is this competitive and this exciting.
I love that.
A couple blowouts early on in RedBlack Day. And don't get me wrong, a fantastic day of football action, but it is really nice to get
It's nice to see this back and forth, too. And even going back to that discipline conversation, too, it is the stuff that you see, like, that people don't necessarily get to watch, but it's also discipline on the field. We aren't talking back. We aren't snipping at the refs. We're making sure, and a misplay here going to get called down, and that's all right.
So it'll be a 7-6 score line. No, that's a really great point, Kaylin. How you handle the adversity, how you handle the officials, how you speak to your teammates.
Absolutely. That's discipline in itself. That's being a good teammate, too. So even if you're mad just because the refs called something, it's not going to get changed by you telling them to go,
take a hike.
Yeah, your choice of words, insert here. But at the same time, that's also what coaches are looking for. I assume we'll talk to Steve Schneider a little bit later, too, about the recruiting process that they go through. Yes, you're looking at the people making big plays here tonight, and you want them on your team, too. But what else are they looking for within these groups of people that we aren't seeing for recruits? Because, we talked about Justin Pace and how he also got drafted this week as well to the CFL, but he's a player that is a hustle player, but also has one of the nicest personalities that you can do. I've interviewed him several times for Global News, and he's always been the most delightful person. So that's also who you want on your team, regardless of what their stats are.
I would agree. I have a little anecdote that we'll get to after because we've got some great action here. Screen pass intended for number 36 in the red. That's David Nosa. So Justin Pace, the first time I came in contact with him outside of football, I was running a camp at my place of work, and we were heading over to, I think it was Nixon Field, and he was there with teammate Jeremy Hiscox just running drills, off-season training. He's like, if you need me to move, just let me know. I'm so happy to pack up. I'm like, man, there's 4 of us. Yeah. It's a huge field. It's cool. But he was so respectful to both me and the kids I was working with. He made such a positive impression on those young people. And
Definitely.
that, to me,
it's major.
It's the sign of an athlete that's got the right personality, the right disposition.
Yes.
And so I'm always happy to see such success for him.
And he's a Frenchie, too. So
yes.
It makes everything a little bit more fun, especially that first interview I did with him. He was still kind of learning and asking what I was talking about. And I think that's just kind of hilarious because even at that, he's like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better.
I had the chance to sit with his grandfather, Francois, during the dinner before the Mitchell Bowl, and like very rural Quebecois. It was you
very
could see,
harsh accent.
yes,
Yeah.
and you could quite literally see the physical, but also kind of the dispositional resemblance between the two. I thought it was a very fascinating experience.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I know that, again, your locker room is a major, major thing. So if you have players that are just happy to be there and happy to put in the work, your locker room is so much better. You don't want the players that are complaining that you have to be somewhere. You want the players saying, I get to be somewhere.
And on that note, another player that was drafted recently, Stephen Capella, the definition of a locker room guy. Obviously a fantastic player, but the most positive, charismatic, giving teammate possible. And it's like you need guys like that on your
100%.
team for the culture.
Yeah, and we can talk about it a little bit after this play, too, of just what those personality hires are almost like.
But let's see what Team Red can do here. An incomplete pass on first down, a completed pass here on second, but a great tackle, absolutely, from 82 in white. That's Ryan Tapania with a tackle creating a 3rd and 4 scenario. And I think it looks like a punt.
They'll switch things off. And, back to the personality hires almost. The team, I can't remember off the top of my head, but an NCAA team, there is a girl for the basketball program that knows that she's the diversity hire. She's on the bench. She's a cheerleader. She's meant to be there to rally the team. She knows she's not going to get any playing time, but she is so into the game that they have her on their roster and they continue to support her because she supports the team. That's exactly what you want here. Even if you aren't getting the playing time, you know what's going on.
Your attitude can get a lot of opportunities for you and open a lot of doors.
Yeah.
That punt will go out of bounds just shy of midfield. So it will be Team White back in action here. After and I can't believe it, another special teams touchdown, Caitlin.
Yes.
The 4th special teams touchdown of the day today.
I'm glad you're keeping track because at this point I think everything's because of special teams. It's insane.
I hear that. Yeah, that's very fair. I've seen more special teams touchdowns today than I did in an entire season of U Sports football last year.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And another thing I want to ask Steve about, too, is about those special teams positions because they're so niche, right? Like, we don't necessarily know if something is going well in some of those positions, but they might.
I'm just taking a look here. We have a different quarterback in. This is, I believe, Zachary Benninger in for Team White here. Nelson Lord's helmet. Nice throw from Benninger.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow. And a good effort after the catch from his intended target as well. But that is a whip-quick release and a great grab there by Joshua Muzzy. Okay. Benninger, this kid can throw.
That was a dart.
Yeah, that one was no pretense.
On a line.
Get open.
Did not move from the line.
No, very accurate throw, on time, on target, and credit to Muzzy for hauling that one in. That one had some heat on it. Second and 2 coming up.
Somebody's very proud in the stands.
That's like how my mom was, so I get it. Handoff is going to be stopped well short. Number 73 in red, the primary tackler. That's Jalen Sandiford Holder as your primary on that one, stopping Team White short of first down distance.
We had talked about this in a different game, that sometimes the hard passes, you're surprised that it's thrown that hard at you. So it can be the most beautiful pass, and just a dart into the numbers, but that's when a player can let it go off the chest. That can even wind you in a sense, and then it pops out. we saw one of those earlier today that you're just too surprised that the ball was thrown at that capacity.
It's surprise, and it's also impacting the timing. If you're expecting something to come in a bit slower, you aren't fully opened up for a fast one. But that is a beautiful pass and a great catch by Owen Saunders, who once again, Caitlin, great second effort to fight for extra yards.
Yeah, and I'm liking seeing the over-the-middle throws. Not necessarily in the middle, but it had to go through the middle to get there. I like those inside passes. Not the outside necessarily, but the execution of those ones is probably the most difficult. So the fact that we're seeing those in this game is really impressive.
And I've been overall impressed. I think all the quarterbacks we've seen play here in this U18 game look like the finished product.
They do, yes.
This is quite impressive. I really like how Benninger's been spreading this ball around. And let's see what he does here with a fresh set of downs at the 30-yard line. Here we go. High snap, but corralled. Another heater from Benninger, and nearly dropped, but he managed to corral it, is Eric Shillington with that catch there, and I was worried it was going to slip out. We saw that in the U16 game a lot.
But these throws are nasty.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be hauling these ones in, but that's not a lack of skill on the quarterback's part, I will say. I don't think I have the capacity to catch something coming at me that fast.
No, we'll play catch after.
Yeah. I'm not bad, but I ain't that good.
I'll get you to run some routes.
Oh, that might be a problem.
In your suit.
Yeah, that's right. Always
Hey, you
well-dressed.
wore your sneakers today.
That's right. Now who's airing my business? No. It's a long day, folks. You got to have the comfy footwear. We have got a first down here inside the red zone. Good handoff and a great run. Absolutely. That is number 26, Daniel Nakasto, who we saw have that screen pass reception earlier. Good cut there, breaking along the right-hand side, and that is so perfect for the pacing of your offense. 5 yards on first down, the world is your oyster.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end line right now. And again, I love seeing the execution at this point. This is where you want good defense, but you also want good offense. This is where you need to prove as a defender that you can stop the ball in that red zone. But as the offense, I love seeing good passes that get you into the end zone.
They might be looking over the middle here, but that, I don't know. If I'm the Team Red defense, I'm expecting either a slant or some kind of drag route across the middle. So I'm bracing it. Oh, the big man! There we go.
Yes!
The first Kingston-based touchdown of the day. And that comes courtesy of Brock Oliver, listed as a running back, playing fullback and H-back, and showing off the hands there. Great job, young man. Touchdown.
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. We've been seeing the big men do big work today. Holy, one in every game so far today. This one's a lot earlier than the other two. The other two just happened to be at the end of the game as like a throwaway play for the team that was under. And this I love seeing in the first quarter.
Little play, and that's like as classic a goal line play as you get. Play action, fake the run, have your fullback or H-back slip out into the flat.
Yeah, pull it.
He's a huge problem there because who's out in the flat? Defensive backs. Not an easy thing to bring down a man of that size and speed, and it is now 13-7 for Team White. And I'm just saying, once again, local product, Kingston, Queens being such an H-back centric school, you got to think they're taking note of that.
I would say so. Yeah, nobody's going to stop a person of that size that close to the end line. Momentum would fall over that goal line. So even if you did try to stop it, you are flopping.
Yeah, you've got your work cut out for you in a situation like that. 2.5 minutes to play here in our first half of U18 football action. 13-7 is your scoreline, and I got to say, Caitlin, this has been a very entertaining first half.
This has been a very entertaining first half, and that's what you hope for close to the end of the day, too, being able to be woken up and, you know, entertained while you're watching this. We don't have any biases in this game. You just want good football.
This kid is on a roll. Graham Williams again, Caitlin.
That's stiff. Oh, my God. He puts his arm out and just knocks.
Showing off the guns to create some space, and I believe we've got a new quarterback in for Team Red. If I recall correctly, yes, indeed, that is Rain Thomas slinging the rock now. But regardless of who's quarterback, they seem to have one favorite target.
If you're a quarterback, that's what you like to have, too. Somebody that can read your mind. Even if you haven't played together a lot, this is a player that understands the game of football.
And I feel pretty confident saying I think Graham Williams is a pretty safe bet to make that Team Ontario final squad with how he's playing here today.
I'd say so, and that's what's on the table for these gentlemen here.
They're trying to qualify to play national level football for Team Ontario, and we get a first down carry for minor yardage there, and that comes courtesy of number 48 in red. That's, hey, here's a fun one, Madden Derbyshire. And don't quote me on this, but I wonder if he's related to a former Queens player, Brooke Derbyshire, who used to play here when I had first started my broadcasting career back in 2021.
Well, you know what? That's a bit of a unique last name, so
True.
I'd say it's not Smith.
Yeah,
So
it's
maybe
not Johnson.
I think we can assume, but we don't want to make too many assumptions, but there are certain last names where you're just like, wow.
Similar running style as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get a second down pass here to number 77, and that's a good reception from 77 in the red. That's Matteo Mineta, and that's the player who you may recall had tipped the punt into the end zone. So he cost his team points earlier, but he gives them a good gain here, and he is going to take a quick second. Thankfully,
Close to the sideline.
exactly. So if he needs some tending to,
There you go,
he's
roll
not
over.
far.
And just a question for my sake. I know in rugby there is the rule that if athletic therapists have to come out onto the field to get you, you have to come off. Is that the same with football?
Even if they don't have to come out, if you take a knee, it's pretty much expected that you were at
You
least
have
taking
to
a
go.
play off. Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes what you'll see as they're tending to this young man on the sideline is late in games, so especially some of the big guys in the middle will have a very convenient cramp as the offense is driving and they need some time.
Yes.
But the trade-off is if you go down, even if you get off the field under your own power, you are staying off for at least one play to be
Right.
properly assessed.
That's good to know.
And yeah, as they're looks like it's I think he just got shaken up because they're pressing on the ribs. I think it's probably just got the wind knocked out of him. But he is going to be okay, folks.
Yes. He also has a very unique helmet. We haven't seen.
I believe that's Junior Argos based on the color scheme and the logo.
Yeah. I was like, we haven't seen a light blue one yet.
It's true. That is the first one of the weekend for that club. Some familiar sights, but I believe there's an Ottawa Myers Rider down there on the sideline as well, one of the formidable junior summer football teams here in the province of Ontario. It is a 1st and 10 from midfield for Team Red. 90 seconds to play in our first half. Rain Thomas. Oh, almost. Right idea, just slightly too far for where it needed to be. But I like that corner out because in a best case scenario, you catch it, you pick up the first down, you go out of bounds, you keep the clock from ticking away.
Yes. Smart call.
Yeah, absolutely the right play call, just timing a little off on that one. So we'll get a 2nd and 10. And worth noting, Graham Williams is in the slot, number 86, who has had a fantastic first half performance. Would be a great time for him to make something happen here. Covered well. Rain Thomas rolling left.
Nice.
Guess who? Graham again.
Wow.
Graham Williams, his 6th catch by my mark, 7th time touching the ball, and I believe that is the 4th first down he's generated at least.
Because sure, why not?
Yeah, this kid is he's a route technician. No matter where you put him, he manages to get open, and what's really impressive to me is the way in which he has secured each and every single catch through contact.
Definitely, and even there, that wasn't the play written up. Obviously, a quarterback had to scramble to get that pass through, but still he was able to find him, and he was able to get open for that pass. Oh, big hit.
Oh, yeah. Down you go, young man. That will be a sack on the play. And that will put them back 2nd and about 15 with 50 seconds on the clock here. Team Red trailing by 6, a 13-7 scoreline, and what has been a very watchable, very fun football game so far.
And it's been going by fast. That's how you know it's good. In my opinion, there's not a lot of stoppages.
No, very little fat. It's all killer, no filler here for the U18 game. And a beautiful pass and catch. That is number 7 in the red. That's a good grab. And, sorry, that's Matteo Mineta. Adiel Green was the Toronto Junior Argos player. So that's my mistake. That's Matteo Mineta there with the catch and just shy of a first down. And here we go, 3rd and about 1 yard to go. I wonder if they're going to bring rain up to just sneak this one forward. No, they are going to run a standard play. It's going to be a handoff. Oh, Madden Derbyshire is going to be close, but I think he did indeed get it. Yes,
there you
indeed.
go.
First down. And with time running out, they're definitely going to take a timeout here. So we'll step up to the Oach here and give you another shout out to one of our sponsors. And I'm flipping through, and you know what? I want to shout out Vertical Raise. Great football programs need great support, and raising that money doesn't have to be hard. Vertical Raise is revolutionizing fundraising for sports clubs across Canada. No order forms, no collections, no deliveries. Just 20 minutes of work, and your team could raise thousands. They're the official preferred fundraising partner of Football Ontario. Check them out at verticalraise.com.
You got your infomercial voice there.
It's a good way to make a living, I won't lie to you.
Infomercials?
Yeah, I'd be a great infomercial pitch man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, I had to make one in college.
Oh.
Infomercial, oh my God.
I think I've got the cadence and the energy to be a Billy Mays-esque figure in a...
Slap chop.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. He's had some troubling personal problems.
Oh, God.
Billy Mays, though, that's not a bad career to have.
Maybe that.
Let's see if Team Red can slap and or chop their way into scoring position. Beautiful pass.
Wow.
Oh,
no.
He had it and lost it, and I believe that is number 88, Miles Stevens, who was unable. It's one of the 88 and 86 both have the Junior Griffins helmet, so I'm just trying to make sure. I think that was Graham Williams. Yes, so the first drop of the day for the otherwise sure-handed Graham Williams.
He had it, too.
Just couldn't maintain the points of contact going out of bounds, and now it's a bizarre situation. It's 8.5 seconds on the clock, and you are, if you try a field goal, it'd be about a 47-yarder, which is not an easy make for this age range. Not an easy make for the university age range either, to be honest.
No, not particularly.
So here we go, 2nd and 10, and you have to be conscious of the clock here. Thomas drops back, steps up. This is a great call. Call the timeout, kick the field goal. That's exactly what they are going to do. So they're going to try and cut this lead in half heading into the half, as we will get one final timeout here in our second quarter of football action. Of course, like with the U16 game, for those that have been with us all day, we will be joined by head football coach Steve Snyder at some point during the second half.
Yes, I know he wants, like I mentioned, to come and talk about recruiting and talk about all those niche parts of what they're looking at in this U18 game, all stuff that we don't necessarily know under our own, knowledge. This is something that Steve can come in and give us some expertise about. Yeah,
very targeted information that the lay people like ourselves would not be privy to otherwise.
No. Not particularly. There are too many positions to keep track of, too, as broadcasters, where you need a whole team of people and slew of people to give you info.
Kick is up. Ooh, nice kick.
Beauty.
And that will take us into the half, folks. It is a 13-10 ball game, and text your friends, tell them to tune in. This U18 game has been very exciting, and I think we've got a fantastic second half in store for us.
Absolutely, and we will be back. I assume it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what every halftime has been so far, and it is 5 minutes. So you get a second to get a beverage or go do what you got to do, and then we'll be back in about 4 minutes and 51 seconds here.
Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today. Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today.
We are back for second half action here at Richardson Stadium. I'm Caitlin Pobersnick alongside not David Bell. Oh my God, Jesse Bell. David Bell was the old Belleville Senators coach.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's a different guy now. They have their interim coach, but I'm very used to David Bell there for a while.
We're getting some Ironman football action as that's linebacker number 39, Luca Rossett, who caught a pass there on first down for Team Red. If you're just joining us, folks, it is a 13-10 ball game, and it's been a very exciting one here.
Extremely.
I love the pace, and I love how close this game has been from basically minute one until right now. And we've got Declan Cowan, a Kingston Grenadier, back in the ball game here for Team Red. Let's see if they give it to him. It's going to be a pass. And a dangerous one, but great second effort there from Matteo Mineta, who nearly hauled that one in.
Absolutely, and like you said, this is a very even game, I think. Both teams have their strengths, and I think they're utilizing them very, very well. So that's been the entertaining part. This is our closest game so far that we have had this weekend. So it's nice to see the back-and-forth action and seeing what both teams are able to curate with the group that they've only just met.
Yeah, RedBlack weekend began last night with the OSFL Senior Bowl, which ended up being a bit of a lopsided contest. And then our two games today, U14, U16, were both multi-score victories for Team Black. As this is a beautiful punt. A booming punt there. And a great return from number 3 in the white jersey, Joshua Muzzy. Good catch, good run back, setting up some positive field position for Team White.
Yeah, what a great punt.
Yeah, that is the kind of punt that special teams, scouts, and coaches are quite impressed by for this age range. And we saw the importance that punting can play in the OUA quarterfinals with the Guelph Griffins defeating the Western Mustangs in a shocker thanks to the CFL and Canadian Football Classic, the Rouge. So don't discount your punter. You never know when they're going to win you a big game. As this is Zachary Benninger in at quarterback. Play action pass, under pressure, steps up in the pocket, and takes the sack. And that's a team effort finished off by a little bit of Kingston football content. That is Adrian Stangetta, who finished off that quarterback sack. A great rush from number 75 to put Team White behind the 8 ball here with a 2nd and 15.
Absolutely, and we also have some in-person coaching happening on the field as well. That's not an extra player or an extra ref. That is a coach watching from behind.
Very closely trying to run the show here. But once again, the name of the game for this weekend is development. So having the coaches at field level as well is a great thing for these young players. Benninger, right idea, just couldn't quite put enough RPMs on that pass to get it where it needed to be, so we're going to see a punt here. Trading 2 and outs are these two teams. And once again, you can see that great kind of field level coaching for the quarterback there.
Yeah, interesting to see. He wanted to get behind the play, also able to talk to the quarterback while he's on the field in between plays, but also see what it looks like from the behind the scope view and not necessarily that sideline eye.
And it's interesting because you don't tend to see that level of coaches on the field outside of like youth football. I'm talking quite young.
Yes.
So a bit of a throwback there, but once again, given the developmental and kind of collaborative nature of these red-black games where you're vying to make Team Ontario, so having that coaching there, wow. That is one heck of a punt that takes a big high bounce and a second fumble from the Team Red returner. That is a nightmare afternoon for number 77, Adiel Green, who I think lost the football again. Oh, that young man has got to be sick to his stomach.
Yeah, coming off of whatever that injury was earlier, now back on the field hoping to get his head back in the game, and it's probably just not there.
Yeah, I feel for the young man. That's the same mistake twice on a stage like this is a real heartbreaker. Surrendered a touchdown earlier, giving up a turnover here as Team White is back in the fight, taking over once more with Charles DeCare as their quarterback. He started the game. He's back in with Luca DiStefano as his tailback. Jet sweep. We saw it earlier. We see it again. Defended well. Great open field tackle. Yes, sir. Well done, number 34. That's Noah Reese. What a great open field tackle for loss there from the Team Red defensive back.
Yeah, some great plays. Again, the defenses, I find, like we've been saying, easier to come in and play defense with a group you've never played with before than it is offense, but these defenders are doing a very, very good job.
And that was just a fantastic textbook tackle. They did a great job of cutting the edge, forcing that player to have to make his man miss if he wanted to generate something. And, yeah, Reese with a tremendous tackle there. 2nd and 12 coming up for Team White. DeCare in at quarterback. Hard count, takes the snap. Amazing pass rush move from Aiden Stangetti. And he forces an interception. And look at that, one of the big number 68. Not an interception number. That's Jude Dowd, the linebacker.
Oh, he's so excited too.
Understandably so. That over the shoulder, Caitlin, as a linebacker.
Wow.
Flag is down. It is on Team Red. Now the question is, will this discount the turnover, or is this a penalty that's issued after the interception? But still, you got to like what you see. Stangetti on a blindside rush pressured the quarterback, and it looks like, unfortunately for Jude Dowd, this interception will not count in the record books. I think it was defensive pass interference was the call.
Man, what a tough look that is. Oh, man.
I feel for him. I do.
Yes.
Team Red cannot catch a break right now. Special teams fumble, turnover negated, but I do want to highlight number 75, Stangetti. We had a sack earlier and another impressive pass rush performance on that last play, pressuring the quarterback, causing him to make a mistake. Let's see what 75 can do here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we have a very animated fan, folks. You may be catching that up on the atmospheric or the ambient mic here. Pass by DeCare, incomplete. Some very passionate people in the stands here at Richardson Stadium, which is certainly no strange sight given the presence of the Gales and the Grenadiers, both with diehard, passionate fan bases.
Yeah, and you know what? Rather have people come in and cheer than stay quiet, as most of them have been. So,
sit on their hands, yeah.
You know what? It's a bit brisk, so the fact that anybody is out right now is impressive regardless.
100%. And we will be joined by head coach Steve Snyder a little bit later on in the broadcast to discuss all manner of things. So, of course, stay tuned for that. Not somebody you get to hear from very often, so you don't want to miss out on that.
No, quite a quiet presence.
2nd down, and they are going to issue a sack. And guess who was involved again? Stangetti.
Big hug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was
big hug.
When you that is like, that's the brotherhood right there. When you make a great play, the guy just wraps you up like, attaboy, attaboy. There you go.
Yeah.
And we are going to see a field goal situation.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm excited to see 21 in white. That is Bennett Rowe. See what his range can look like here. This would be about a 35-yarder.
Kicking into the wind, too, so got to remember that.
And for me, it's like into the wind, you always factor in basically an extra 5 to 10 yards depending on how much cross breeze you're getting. But it's colder than it is aggressive. It's not a very hard and heavy wind, but it's a very cold wind.
It is. So, again, thanks to everybody coming out to watch, too.
Yeah. Does not feel, ooh, that one is going to curve left. And they are going to let them play it out. Okay. Oh, and that's a tackle in the end zone. That should be a single point issued. Yes, indeed. So Team White will make up for their missed extra point with a rouge there. So it's a 14-10 ball game.
Is there anything that you would have suggested for him to do after that catch?
The returner?
Yes.
I think he, first and foremost, didn't really understand that they were going to play that play out to completion.
Yes.
I think because there wasn't much of a pass rush from the defense, the returner assumed, oh, okay, we're just
playing along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that is what cost him, because by the time he actually scrambled to that ball and realized the magnitude of the situation, he already had defenders on him. So it's just a concentration thing ultimately. First and 10 for Team Red. And I believe we have a newer tailback in. Yeah, that's number 36 from the looks of it. And he's running hard. Goodness gracious. Yes, that's David Nosa taking the ball there. A good gain of about 5 yards on first down.
So score is now at 14-10. We're at almost that 6.5-minute mark here in the third. So that extra point helped out a little bit. Can't tie it with a kick.
No, that's a very good point. The field goal as a tying mechanism is off the table. So if you want to take control of this game, you've got to punch it into the end zone.
2 possession.
And 4 is always such a finicky number in football. It kind of throws everything out of whack, especially in the Canadian game. That's going to be a free play. They drew him offside. David Nosa takes the handoff. And regardless, this will be a first down because of Team White jumping a little bit early. So we will get a 1st and 10, I believe. Because you could see the defense, and that's, as a quarterback, you love when you draw that defensive line, especially offside, because A, you know you're getting a free play, and B, it's kind of like, well, you guys are pursuing and hassling me all day. I'm going to get you back in the only way that I realistically can, by making you look foolish.
And seeing that they can force the defense to hop too, so you know what you're looking to do that gets them to bite.
And I think the prevalence of the hard count here is because they know the caliber of athlete on the field, but they also know they're young and they're excited.
Yes.
You're going to draw these guys offsides more than you will most players at the university level.
You're going to hop.
Here we go. That is a sack, and that is number 64 for Team White as your primary there. That's Cole Conlin with a great speed rush to shut down that Team Red play and push them back about 7 yards. Richardson, no shortage to outstanding pass rush players. You think of the likes of Oliver Jackson, who had a fantastic all-conference caliber year for the Gales last year. And you can really stretch that back to the likes of Jim Aru in the 1990s, Osi Ukwoma in the 2010s, Corey Trudeau in the 2000s. The list goes on and on and on. Pass here on second down. Love that. Great throw. And that is a great reception there from, I believe that is, yes, number 13 in the red. That's Nick Riva, who had the touchdown earlier.
Some midfield activity.
Yeah. We are still in the neutral zone, but for how much longer, as we are 3rd and 1, just a frog's hair away from midfield. They need about 6 inches. Ooh.
Wow.
See the wind blow the ball here. Nosa, your tailback. Hard counts. Good job by the defense to stay disciplined there. Quick hitter. First down. And that's another reception for Riva.
Nice quick pass out of the pocket, too.
Exactly what they needed to do on that one. Nothing more, nothing less. Rain Thomas with the completion there.
No. Write the play, do the play, get the ball out. A nice execution.
And when you're facing 3rd and short, I think it's an interesting decision to throw as opposed to run with that down and distance, but it clearly worked out for them. And I believe that's Andrew Colson, my mistake. The quarterback numbers for Team Red are 26 and 28, so it's hard to...
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah, too similar for my liking.
No kidding.
But let's see what we've got here. Hand off to David Nosa. And I like the urgency and the purpose that Nosa runs with here. And I think as they get this play reset, we will once again welcome back to the booth a very special guest for this U18 broadcast, head football coach of your Queens Gales, Steve Snyder.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. This game's off to a good start. A lot of great execution, by the offenses, which has got the game to an exciting start, and the tackling on defense has been exceptional.
I think the polish overall in this U18 game is much more in line with something that the scouts here are looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so one thing I'll ask you then, leading into that scouts conversation, I know you said that you wanted to talk about that a little bit more. Anything that you are seeing that we might not necessarily see as a player that you guys are looking for right now?
Yeah, we're looking for a lot of things, and to be able to evaluate these young guys really all weekend, having them on campus. They've been doing meetings in our building, and the meals have been here. They're in the residences and all that stuff, and we've heard great things. It seems like a great group of young men. Shout out to the Team Ontario coaching staff. They've done a tremendous job preparing these guys for the game, and I think that's showing up right now. The pass game, you can see the execution is on a bit of a different level in comparison to the other games so far.
Absolutely. So when you guys are talking about scouting, looking at players, one of the things that we were talking about earlier was also those personality hires. You need those personality hires in your locker room. You need guys that, have room to grow, but already have that inner discipline of being just a good teammate, a good player, and somebody that you want to have on your roster. How big does that kind of factor into you guys wanting to bring these guys maybe back for something else later on?
It does. It's for us when we're out at the practices and the games, one thing we look for is he trying to make everybody else better? Is he bringing the level up in his group, or is he bringing it down because of bad body language? And for these guys, it's been a lot of encouragement. The supportive positional groups has been evident this weekend so far. So when a guy is, making people better because he's bringing positive energy and he's encouraging people, to us, that's a part of building a championship team, and it's something we look for in the recruiting process.
Yeah, so with this U18 group, I know that we asked you this for the U16 game. What's the differences that you see in this type of caliber of play? I mean, there's obviously size. You're seeing more movement from the quarterbacks, too. You're seeing more high IQ plays. What can you kind of establish with this U18 group that viewers might not have seen in the other two games?
Yeah, well, for the U18, there's obviously more players that are, their body types and their physical makeup, they're probably more ready for university now. You got a couple guys on the field right now where, from a physical perspective, in terms of where their body's at, they're actually ready for university to some extent. Like they'd be okay in a training camp from a body type perspective with us. So when we come to this level, the measurables, the height and weight is a good starting point. And then for the guys that maybe don't fit that mold, is there something else that's special about them? Whether it's a quickness, a change of direction, an IQ, maybe that supportive piece where they're making people better.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen a little bit of all that this weekend. There's certainly some really big kids that move really well, and then there's some guys that aren't maybe the prototypical size, but boy, are they quick, and are they talented. So we're getting a little bit of everything this weekend.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the niche players a little bit. So you obviously have your major players, you have your quarterbacks, receivers, you have the stuff that people at home would know to be watching out for. Anything that comes to recruiting and maybe that special teams aspect, even a snapper that you're seeing that is kind of exciting to you that people at home are like, that's a little bit too niche for me. How would you explain what that is good for?
Yeah, no, I mean, just on that note, the line of scrimmage is really where the game is won and lost, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, and that's something the average fan sometimes overlooks as well. They're so caught up with maybe the quarterback play and the deep pass and the running backs, but the offense and defensive line is really kind of where the game starts and ends.
Yeah.
And there's, you look for size and length, arm length, and reactive agility and things like that, and these guys certainly got that. And then to get into that kind of deeper niche, you get the specialists. The kicking game. You got two young guys kicking the ball well. Young man out of Michael Powers has a great leg. And then, the long snapping as well. Young man out of Nelson snapping the ball well. So we look for that. We're looking for the velocity and location of snaps. We had a great eval at halftime. The kickers stay out and kick a little bit, right?
Yes.
So, I was watching that pretty closely. There's a lot going on in football. It's a multi-dimensional sport. There's tons of layers to it. And as a scout, you're trying to peel off all those layers as best you can and maximize, the time that you spend out at an event like this.
Yeah. So
I was going to say, Queens, we were talking about niche players. Line of scrimmage is something you mentioned. You guys pride yourselves as one of the best line of scrimmage teams in the country. Can you talk about the development of some of these young prospects, turning them into more refined defensive and offensive linemen? What's that process look like?
Yeah, well, just to give a credit to the guys playing, first of all, we were just talking about this in our booth with the coaches a few minutes later, is the offensive line and their pass protection, their pass set and their strike, all the way down to like the U14 level, how technical it's gotten over the years is amazing. And it's another kind of shout out to Instagram, but these guys can jump online now and kind of coach themselves. There's so much great content out there. Whereas, back in my day, borrow a VHS from somebody and dub it.
Yep.
Just, now you just scroll through your phone endlessly, and it's showing up. It's showing up in the pass sets and the strike and the defensive stances and the pass rush moves. I just think it's so much more technical across the board and all the way down to the lower levels. And obviously the coaches are doing a great job because they're very educated and technical, but the players are also taking initiative these days in developing their own technique.
Yeah, it's almost like they're figuring out their own swagger in a sense that I think, as detrimental as social media can be, it's also very beneficial in the sense that people are realizing that there is more out there, and it's like they're able to see it hands-on instead of hearing about it. They're able to watch it. So even looking at some of these guys, maybe not having the best day. If somebody leaves here today going like, dang, I wish I could have done more. Is there anything that you can say to those players in that way that it's like, this isn't the end of the world, but we also realize that you only get like 1 or 2 chances maybe today, whereas like a regular game you would have a whole section. So how would you go about maybe even just some of the people or people at home that have somebody at stake here today that might be leaving this going, I wish I could have done more? Yeah,
well, football is a developmental sport, and these guys are going to continue to develop. Nobody here is a finished product by any means. And so you just got to understand that. And this is a big-time experience, and it's an opportunity to learn a lot about yourself and kind of get a feel for where you might fall in the pecking order to some extent.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of this weekend, you hope that you put your best foot forward. Speaking of best foot forward, it's a nice hang time on his punt.
Taken down, big hit.
Yeah, that's a face mask, unfortunately.
You would have hoped that you put your best foot forward and feel really good about your performance, but every player here has got to know, I still got work to do, and this is a process, and you hope you learn a lot from this experience and move forward. I don't think anybody's going to be written off based on not their best performance at the RedBlack. There's a lot of football teams in the country. There's 27 that play university football plus other leagues, and I hope that all these young guys go on to play after their high school somewhere in the country, and for the really special ones that want the complete package, I hope they find their way to Queens.
Very subtle, very subtle.
It's like you're biased or something. It's
just
like
out here doing the best I can.
And
wearing red and blue and your Queen's gear maybe.
that's all right. Well, as the host, I think you get a little bit of leeway
Oh,
to
you got
to pitch and
this
promote.
microphone is technically yours. You can say whatever you want
What
right
our
now.
staff, our coaches have put a ton of work in the last couple of days trying to, prepare the building and just be ready to host the great people at Football Ontario, and I think it's been a smooth weekend. And Coach Canisius and the Team Ontario staff has been tremendous. And, again, the administrative side of Football Ontario, they're great people, and they're pushing a brand and pushing a product right now that seems to just get a little bit better every year. Everything's a little bit more organized. The experience is better for the athletes every year, and let's just keep growing this thing.
Yeah, that's one thing about you guys hosting this too, is that you're also showing them what you can offer. As much as they're trying to show you guys what they offer, you're also hosting something here right now too. Couldn't quite.
In and out.
Yeah, it's been great having, this U18 team in the Lang Pavilion all weekend. They're using the Queen's Golden Gales locker room, the Unity room there. I think they're enjoying it, the meeting rooms, all that kind of stuff. So it's made it really efficient for them in preparing the team for this game. And for us, anytime we can bring a ton of people to Queens to experience it, it's powerful for us, and I think it's powerful for them, because this is clearly one of the best places you can come and go to school and play football at. And hopefully these guys get their way down to Breakwater Park and the Gord Downey Pier and the beach we essentially have on campus, and see the wonderful Lang Pavilion and Richardson Stadium and all the incredible academic buildings here. And then just downtown Kingston, what a spot. So I think the families have been able to take in the beautiful city here, and it's just another great weekend. And the big thing we want to push to Football Ontario is we're happy to host this every year.
Yeah.
I think, if making it up here to Eastern Ontario and being able to host some type of major event for Football Ontario like the RedBlack, we'd be happy to do it every year. I think we're able to deliver just an incredible product for these young guys.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time here today. We appreciate you taking the moment in what is a very busy weekend. And before we go, any closing thoughts with this U18 game here?
Well, it's a 2-point ball game with 11 minutes left, so stay tuned. Don't sign off just yet. I think it'll be a great finish. And from what I see, there's definitely an ability for a big throw and catch, late in this game. It's right there. There's a lot of great athletes, and the quarterbacks are throwing the ball well.
Yeah, absolutely. A big, I feel like definitely a big play is kind of in the works for these groupings. I know you felt it like rain almost. You know how some people get that feeling that rain is coming. You feel like there's a big play headed our way. So thank you to Steve Schneider for stopping by. Always nice to hear what they're talking about over in that booth right there, because that's closed off for us. So
Yeah.
if we can get an insight into what's happening, that's always a big deal for us too, to just know what they're looking for specifically. So that takes us down to the 10:30 mark of this final quarter here. Like you said, 2-point game, 14-12. Currently our Whites are with the ball. We'll see if something can happen here.
Charles DeCare back in at quarterback. Made a beautiful throw just 2 plays prior, and another great one here. And like rain,
Wow.
we could feel it coming. Charles DeCare connects with 13 in white. That's one of his favorite targets today, Daniel Priestner,
Wow.
for 6 more points.
Sometimes you call it and you call it wrong and you jinx it. You like calling it and it actually happens.
And that is in the red zone as a quarterback. The number one thing for you is to be careful with the ball. Taking a sack is one thing, but giving the ball away is a worst-case scenario. So good job there by Charles DeCare to make the throw he needed to make, nothing more. Playing smart, easy football. Let the game come to him. A beautiful pass and catch, and now we have got a 9-point lead. As Coach Snyder mentioned, the kicking from both teams has been strong as he pinged that one off the upper concourse, the
That
Lion
would've been
Pavilion.
Good from the 35-yard line, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So here we go, 21-12. A score line here at Richardson, as we're going to see Team Red take back over on offense, and I believe that is Andrew Colson as the quarterback, as we've got to flip the field here. Still anybody's game with 10 minutes and 13 seconds to go in our closer, our U18 closer, wrapping up an excellent weekend of football action right here at Richardson Stadium, one of the premier venues, not just in Ontario, but in all of Canada for football action. And that is Rain Thomas. They both have white helmets. They wear 26 and 28, so thank you for bearing with me, folks.
Yes, they're pretty much identical.
Yeah, similar physical profile as well,
Yes.
now that you mention it. Declan Cowan, the running back. Cowan takes this one up the middle. Good hard-nosed run from the Limestone City tailback, and gives his team a very manageable 2nd and 4. I'm excited to watch Declan Cowan and a number of his Kingston Grenadiers teammates play here at the home of Queen's University at Richardson Stadium. The Grenadiers season just a few weeks away from starting. Very excited for that. A number of Queen's coaches participating in that, including Charlie Stymist, a friend of mine from the old days, Ernestown, Odessa, Ontario. One of the coaches for the Queen's offensive line and one of the key coaches for the Kingston Grenadiers. Passing play here over to Declan Cowan. Cowan, good catch, makes one man miss, falls forward for a first down.
Nice
Team
play.
Red. And this is huge. They need to get a good drive going here. They got to put some points on the board if they want a chance to take the lead and possibly win this game.
Yeah, Team Red just falling short today.
It's been brutal.
It has been brutal for anybody in a red jersey. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but definitely today Red has been struggling just a little bit.
It's true, and it's been strange things like 2 muffed punts for Team Red. That is something you don't see very often. No. And it cost them a touchdown, and it cost them a first down. So those are game-changing mistakes. Pass play here. Rain Thomas rolling left. Rain
Nice
Thomas
read.
keeping the ball himself in stride. Great play there for Rain Thomas, marked down around the 40-yard line.
Charging down the field. A very smart play there, too.
Yeah, when you don't, I like that he assessed his options. He had his eyes firmly downfield, and he realized either I don't have the arm to fit this in quite yet, or, you know what, more importantly, I've got the legs to make it work myself.
Yeah, you can take it, but not forcing things.
Exactly.
You're also looking for that. You have legs, you can take it, you can get those yards yourself. You don't need to force that pass into something like we've seen interceptions here today. You don't want to have another one of those or adding on to that in any sort of misplay.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just a smart decision to make, and it's one that, at this point, any kind of turnover is going to put you really in some deep trouble. As Thomas is rolling right. Oh, and he takes a clean but crushing hit. And you know what? Good on 64 in white. That is Cole Conlon again. He made the tackle, and I like that he didn't celebrate. He did exactly what he had to do, and he stopped himself.
Yeah.
And I get it, because normally in these games, the quarterback.
You want a QB sack. You want that on your record. Anything that you can get, I feel like that's a major stat that they usually have a billboard for if you're watching a live broadcast of some kind. So he kind of did the shrug hand clap, like, okay.
And I think
what
as
am I
well,
supposed to do?
exactly, with the quarterback being, you don't usually hit them. You kind of just tag them down. But the nature of, I think he tried to apply the tag, but the quarterback was already in motion. So he took him down. Made sure he was okay, and then stopped himself from celebrating, which I think shows a good level of personal discipline.
It's a bit of an oopsie.
It happens. I know I've done it. Fakes the handoff to Cowan, keeps it himself. I think, to be honest with you, that was more of a miscommunication than anything. And it does give them a few yards, but I think they are going to bring the field goal team here and try and cut this 9-point lead into a single-score deficit.
That's a far one.
This would be, and this is a kicker we've seen, especially with the punts. This guy has got the leg. This would be about a 43-yarder altogether.
Into the wind again. Like you're saying, not the biggest gust, but if we're looking at the flags.
Well, you can even see, like, even the goalpost itself is shaking a little bit. So I think we are getting look at the prongs.
Gust.
That's going to be well left. He pulls that one wide left, and now Team Red has got to make a tackle here. And thankfully for Team Red, they're able to do exactly that. So as a punter, I think that young man has shown a lot of his stuff, but as a kicker, obviously a lot of developmental work still left to be done.
Definitely, and again, it's one of those niche positions where you don't necessarily have a whole catalog of players, but it's a very difficult decision, especially when you get to some of those professional levels. You are seeing kickers be almost treated like the king of the game. They're the person who can make or break a lot of it, so you want to make sure you have a good kicker, because if you need those points at the end of a game, the kicker is the one doing it for you.
The kicker is either the pariah or the prince, depending on his performance that day.
Yes.
They're either your best friend or your worst enemy, so you want to get yourself a good one.
Absolutely.
Queens, for instance, has one of the best ones in the country in Tyler Mullen, and they have been a kicker development factory. A lot of really fantastic players over the last 6 years especially. Oh, Team Red, very nearly an interception for number 78, James Jollymore, which is a great name.
That is a great name.
I do love that one. 5 minutes and 14 seconds remain here in our fourth quarter of football action. It is a still 9-point deficit after a missed field goal. Team White's in control, looking to kill some clock, drive down, and another field goal would possibly put this game out of reach. So Team White with all the momentum here late in the fourth quarter. And working that hard count, trying to get these guys jumping offside. What a rush. Aiden Stangetti again.
Not stand a chance.
I could see as soon as he got off the line of scrimmage, that play was going to end with a sack. An immediate speed rush. You could see why they're doing the hard count now. They're trying to disrupt him. I think that's his third sack of the game by my count. Wow. Adrian Stanghetta with a outstanding pass rush. I cannot wait to watch this young man play for the Kingston Grenadiers. I think that's going to be something really special.
Yeah, and that brings us back down to 4:35 left. I feel like, I mean, this is, you don't think that they're going to come back necessarily, but again, you'd really like to see some good plays here from Team Red.
And like with Graham Williams on Team Red, I think Adrian Stangetta has more than punched his ticket to Team Ontario with his performance here today,
Yeah,
if I had to suspect.
You have some players that are definitely on that roster, and you're hoping to see maybe a couple of last-minute plays that get to show off some talents that haven't necessarily been seen. We see, again, those big man plays have been coming at the end of the game so far this weekend, so this is another situation of seeing who can come out and kind of surprise you.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, this is kind of the last chance for a lot of these players with 4 minutes left in our fourth quarter to show what they can do, especially if they haven't maybe had the game that they've wanted to have. Now is a good time to make something special happen, as we've got David Nosa in the backfield here. Quick hitter to Adiel Green, and Adiel Green picks up about 4 yards or so on first down.
Yeah, and that's a player we've talked about a lot tonight too, so glad to see that he's back up on his feet, able to make a completion here too, maybe get that confidence back a little bit because you saw the frustrations come.
Yeah, it's been a tough game for Adiel Green, but remember, young man,
Definitely,
still got
yeah.
a long way to go.
Oh, absolutely. Exactly what Steve had said when he was on the broadcast. None of these are the final product for anybody involved, but also if this isn't your best game, this isn't the end. This isn't, your football career doesn't stop here if you have a bad game. People are still scouting after this fact too.
27 schools across the country. That's a lot of football teams. They're going to need a lot of football players.
A lot of rosters.
Exactly. The dream is only over when you say it's over. And Adiel Green can't quite corral that one. There was a bit of a delay in timing for both teams. Kind of a bizarre play overall there. And we have got a 3rd and 5, and they are going to punt this one away, which is another chance for us to take a look at Wynn, their punter, who I think has been more successful in the punt game than he has been in the kick game. But, man, some of the hang time this kid can generate on his punts is pretty remarkable.
It's impressive, and that's the small stuff that they're looking for, is even just a punter.
They are an integral part of your field position game, and unfortunately that snap sails well over his head. I was going to say.
Take it all the way. Wow, what a kick after the fact, though.
I was worried he was. Oh, big man with the ball.
Yeah.
Like those clacking silver balls on the pendulum. Those two big forces, equal momentum meeting, and that's a rare punt return, I would imagine, for number 50, Austin McTaggart, a defensive lineman with a couple punt return yards.
Giggling at himself right now.
I think that was the reaction of everybody in the stadium. I love the instinct to just, you know what, whatever, I'll get it.
I'm here. What are you going to do, move out of the way? I don't think so.
And it was quite the clatter as well, as these two big men both met with so much force that neither one of them moved. They both just kind of landed in neutral positions, which I think is a nice physics lesson for the folks at home there.
Hits fall.
Yeah. Equal motion. As we have less than 3 minutes remaining here. Team White in control. They've got the ball back. Team Red, it has not been a banner day for the Crimson jerseys here at Richardson Stadium, which is a little ironic given the role that Red plays in the tricolor here at Queens. But despite that, just not working out for them.
No, and that's all right. Because then you can blame it on the curse of the Red. You can leave here today going, you know what?
Yeah, new curses being manifested. Usually it's purple that is the cursed color here at Richardson Stadium.
On
red.
multiple scales.
Yeah, not a lot of red in the OUA, I will say. York and Guelph, more or less.
Yeah.
Two teams Queens has had the number of in recent years, as a matter of fact. York, it's been the better part of 50. Guelph, it's been the last 7 or so. So Team Red, thanks to a penalty on that play, actually will retain possession, and they're going to stay in this game. They've got a chance to put some points on the board here, trailing by 9. As we have got Colson and Nosa still in the ball game here, your quarterback and tailback respectively. And it's a handoff to Nosa. And a good gain up the middle.
A nice take. Again, one of those plays written up just to get a few extra yards, get that positioning back in, and now you can open up what you're wanting to do to get that first down.
Exactly. And plays like that, it's good that they aren't necessarily exciting, because on a play like that is designed to be simple. Just get what you can get. If it's exciting, it's either really good for the offense or really good for the defense.
Yes. Something happened, a gap opened, and now you got a touchdown, or you lost.
Yeah, the ball is no longer yours. Adiel Green, and I think that might be the issue today. The footing impacts the punt returns as well, and I think he just hasn't been able to quite get his feet underneath him with the Richardson Stadium turf as exemplified there.
Yeah, definitely been falling a little bit more, feet coming out from under him.
And he's got a fantastic frame. Like, you look at Adiel Green, number 77 in
Athletic.
red. Absolutely, and a great build. He's tall. He looks to be about 6 feet tall for, a U18 player. That is great physical development. As Thomas evades the pressure and finds Graham Williams again, and Graham Williams gets down the field and out of bounds consequentially.
And I saw some hands go up by the Whites defense too. I think they thought that maybe the pressure was enough to be called a sack. So it's interesting to see what the refs are and aren't calling for that quarterback pressure there.
And I would agree. I think it was right on the borderline where you could definitely make a case either way. But I think letting the kids play at this point in the game is probably the right call.
I think so too, but also be consistent, because you don't want to pressure the quarterback too much.
Sure.
And then, sometimes they're calling it, sometimes they're not. Then that way you have a strict line of what the players can and can't do.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I really can't disagree with that. Pass intended for Malik Cuomo, dropping the ball. And that is going to bring us down within 90 seconds here. Moving our way quickly as Team White is having a quick little congress on the sidelines, talking about what they would need to do to seal this game, which is run the football effectively and kill clock. But execution in times like this is so important. 2nd and 10 coming up. Rain Thomas in at quarterback. Dropping back. Throwing this one to David Nosa.
Ooh, taken out at the feet.
Yeah, good tackle there from 31 Parker Hazel, a defensive back taking down a big running back in the open field, stopping him short of first down distance. Another one of those kind of textbook plays you love to see as a coach. Anytime a defensive back takes down one of those big gazelles, it's a noteworthy achievement. And that's one of the things Queens did a really good job of this year. They had an excellent tackling secondary, and it makes a huge difference against some of these explosive playmakers. Here we go, 3rd down. Thomas rolling out, and that is incomplete. Put it where it needed to be, but just couldn't quite secure the catch. That was Kemka, which is another awesome football name.
Few of them on the chart today.
Yeah, I think now's a good time to review some of the, Madden Derbyshire. What a great name. There's a few of these that I'm just amazed by. I still think, where is he? Jollymore, yep. Adrian Stangetta is a great football name, and obviously a very strong player.
Even Purdy. I love a Purdy.
That's true. You know what? There's some
classics. Yeah,
there's some great ones on here. I like Jack Buckland as the linebacker. That is a powerful last name. Here we go. 1st and 10. Team White with a jet sweep. And that's number 28 in the white. Here's a good one. Bo Elliott. That's a great sports name in
love
general.
Bo.
Bo is underrated.
Sports. Yeah. You got Bo Levi Mitchell.
Bo Jackson, if you're really throwing it back.
Yep. So a lot of Bo's, especially some CFLers.
As we have got a timeout taken, so let's give another shout out to one of the great sponsors that made this weekend possible.
I need a snack. You can take it.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I'm always ready here. And I'm scrolling through. And you know what? I think I'm going to shout out Impact Canopy. If you are running a football event, tournament, or camp anywhere in Ontario, Impact Canopy has the signage tools to make it look professional. Custom canopies, banners, and branded print products built for sport. Football Ontario members save 30% on select products. Visit impactcanopy.com to get started. And look at that, right out of the ad break, back into the action. 2nd and 5, handoff to DiStefano and Strangetta. Adrian Strangetta again, having an absolutely outstanding performance. A Kingston Grenadier that has more than lived up to the lofty hometown billing here at Richardson Stadium. This kid is going to be an absolute terror at the next level.
Yeah, there are some names that we've been talking about more than others today. I feel like you've definitely outed who you think are stars, and I feel like it's not even outing, it's the fact that a lot of these guys are showing out today.
Right when they need to. This is the time to really make a name for yourself. And Adrian Strangetta has more than done that. And it's interesting because Team Red is down in this game, but I think they've had some of the more pronounced individual standout players, whereas I think Team White has just been maybe a more cohesive unit overall.
Yeah. They learned the fundamental function of their group pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to see, it's like our Team White, oh, jeez. I was going to ask if they were going to commit a safety, but instead it's a blocked punt, but there is a flag down. Because a blocked punt could have very easily turned into a touchdown rather than them surrendering 2 points.
Yeah, very quickly.
I want to see what this flag is because that was a huge play by Team Red. And they are going to repeat 3rd down. Not totally sure what the flag was issued for, folks. I'll be honest with
Smile and nod.
you. Yeah, but either way, we're going to get a second verse, same as the first, but with a much better snap this time, and not a great punt, unfortunately. The wind coming in off Lake Ontario wreaked a bit of havoc on that one as I heard
nice height, but didn't get very far.
No, and I heard a nice expletive from the young man responsible for that one.
All the way up.
Yeah, chiming like a church bell in the town square. Well, I've been there. I know how it is, young man. That happens, but not the greatest punt in human history.
No.
Team Red will take over inside the 35.
Absolutely, and you've seen a lot of good punts here tonight, so it's not the end-all be-all if you have one hang out a little bit higher and not go as far. That's totally all right, and especially when we're getting down to the wire here, 36 seconds left. Let Team Red do their work, see if they can make up for this.
And if you're Team White, trust your defense. They've been so good for you.
And there you go.
Another great tackle. This one on behalf of Victor Waite, number 23. Good open field, tracking down a receiver on the run on a drag route. Not an easy thing to do, but Victor Waite with a fantastic tackle there. And Team Red, they're going to get a second crack at this. 2nd and 4. Clock is ticking. 30 seconds remain here in this U18 final. The last of 3 games, and a completion. That's Madden Derbyshire, who somehow manages to weave his way through that defense to set up a 3rd and manageable with 21.4 seconds. Not a lot of time left on the clock here.
No, but see if you can get something.
Absolutely.
Get anything. Use this 21 seconds to just kind of, at least even at that, if they get a touchdown here in this last, it's not that big of a gap. 9 points really isn't in general, but it looks a little bit nicer to close that gap a little bit.
100%, and it's the last chance to show what you can do.
Right up and over.
And credit to the
Almost.
quarterback. Put it exactly where it needed to be, but
Grippers.
yeah, the grippers were not quite gripping there, so to speak, as Nick Riva, who's been so good all game long, couldn't secure his 2nd touchdown of the contest. And with about 14 seconds left, we're going to get another go round from Team Red, still trailing by 9 points. the game is likely out of reach, but as we've established, it's a great chance to get one final big play in to impress the scouts and the coaching staff here. Good throw. Oh, that's who you want in that situation as well. With the kind of game Graham Williams has had, I love the idea of just giving him a high-arcing go ball, let him go get it.
Yes, a highlight reel opportunity as well.
I'm actually quite surprised he didn't get that one with the kind of game he's had, but understandable, especially towards the end, all these guys are tired. They've been practicing hard all weekend. They've been away from home. They're staying in the residence. They're eating. They're working in the facilities. It's understandable in the fourth quarter of a very competitive and physical game if you aren't quite at 100% physically. And this will almost certainly be the final play for Team Red with less than 9 seconds to go, and that is pass interference, so they are going to get one more crack at this.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's a good call by the officials. Players got tangled up, but it's definitely a defensive pass interference.
Yeah, and that's not actually a flag that we've seen, I don't think.
True.
Yes.
I think we maybe saw one at one point in the OSFL Senior Bowl, but we definitely haven't seen one in the U18 game here.
No, and I don't think we remember a whole lot from last night.
No. Last night was
I think our brains froze and our minds weren't actually as cohesive as they are today.
I remember bits and pieces. I've got unfortunately, photographic football memory. It's only really useful in one specific capacity.
Funny how that happens, is it not?
Yeah. School, not so much.
No, put it into sports terminology.
Easy peasy.
Without a doubt.
4 seconds on the clock. First and goal for Team Red, looking to take home a second touchdown here late. This is maybe 2 plays left at most. Here it is. And it's going to be a pick to end things off.
Oh, my goodness.
A toe touch interception from number 11, Cole Summers, and that's how you end a game in style if you are Team White, as Team Red goes 0 for 3 on RedBlack weekend.
No kidding. So that ends our broadcasts here today. That's a 21-12 ending. Team White obviously coming out victorious, like you said, but a very good weekend of football despite maybe some weather turbulence last night. Win today. Everybody was just enjoying the atmosphere that Richardson Stadium brought. Jesse, is there anything that you can think of that you want to talk about that we haven't even been able to touch on yet?
I think we've done a pretty good job of covering the finer points. I just want to thank Football Ontario for the opportunity. Caitlin, I want to thank you for working with me this weekend. I think it was a very fun Red-Black weekend overall, and for the folks in the chat that might not be familiar with us, where can they find more about you?
About me?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I call a lot of Queens sports.
Mm-hmm.
I've done hockey. I've done basketball. I've done volleyball. This is my first weekend ever calling anything for football.
Cool.
So that's been a really good opportunity to even be able to add that to my resume today.
And I'm guessing you're doing that through OUA TV?
Yeah, you get to do it through OUA TV. I work for Global News, though, as my day job, so I can't say that Queens play-by-play has
Gotcha.
been my full-time.
Gotcha.
But it's always fun to be able to come out and talk and be able to see athletes. This gets you out of the house and even into the community to be able to see stuff like this. So, Jesse, it's been a pleasure being able to even call games with you. I know you do it a lot by yourself, so it's nice to be able to keep you company.
It's nice to have company, and I will do my shameless plug. Just going to simply say, hey, if you guys are interested in what we do, CFRC is a volunteer organization, and you can find more information on me and CFRC at cfrc.ca, because we're not for profit, so I don't feel bad plugging it. But seriously, thank you folks for tuning in. And Caitlin, any closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so. What a great weekend of football, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of their Sunday, because you know what? Sunday is for football, and we did that here today.
Very well put. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a good time to call it. Thanks for joining us, folks. Be safe, be well, and be sure to keep your eyes posted for more great stuff from Football Ontario and Team Ontario. What a fantastic weekend of football action.
Bye.
Area 51 Sports is here for you. All the top quality equipment you'll need to succeed on and off the field. All to make sure you're prepared for game day. Area 51 Sports, the sports industry's best kept secret. Visit area51sports.ca today